Get up! Oh, Jesus, what the hell? What do you think you're doing sleeping on the lounge? You gotta get back to work. What are you on about? I don't work on Thursdays. It's my day off. Oh, no. I'm talking about Madman with a Box. That last video of yours did some pretty good numbers compared to the previous ones, so you gotta go and make another one for me and rake in all those dollary dues. What are you on about? This channel is not monetized. We get nothing. We don't even have sponsors. I don't care. You get back to work, or you and Mr. Belt are gonna be very, very good friends. Now get to it. Oh, okay. I'm going. Get to it, Chris. Papa needs money for Warhammer minis. Stop it. I'm heading there right now. Stop hitting me with this damn belt. Alright, I'm in the studio now, okay? I'll do it, okay? Just lay off me. It's not like I'm the only one that does videos on this channel. Jeez, what's his problem? I guess this means there'll be Sleep No More. Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a heart. For Series 9 of Doctor Who, then showrunner Stephen Moffat decided to mix up how the series was formatted, once again, considering Series 6 and 7 he split into 2 parts, but he wasn't doing a split series. He was now deciding that almost every episode every story is now a 2-part episode, bar a select few. You had the Christmas special, Last Christmas, which was, yes, technically the year before, but it's counted as, at the start of Series 9. You have the Christmas special at the end of the series. And while it wasn't written by Stephen Moffat, I would count Face the Raven as part of a trilogy, as it serves as a prelude to the 2-part finale, similar to how Utopia in Series 3 sets up Sound of Drums, Last of the Time Lords, the 2-part finale of that series. But there was one story in particular that did not follow this new format, and also broke away from the traditional filming style of Doctor Who. One story that is hated by the fandom. Or is it an underrated gem? Sleep No More is the 9th episode of the 9th series of Doctor Who, written by Jimmy Quirk's favourite writer Mark Gatiss. The story is told through recovered footage of a investigation by a rescue team on the Leveria station. As such, this is done as found footage. That's how it's filmed. Very similar to like your Blair Witch Project and the Paranormal Activity series. As the story progresses, we learn the fate of the station's crew. The Morpheus pods, which are devices that help simulate a occupant's, give them a full night's sleep within 5 minutes in order to increase productivity. I know a lot of businesses would love that, wouldn't they? So yeah, these things, the Morpheus pods, they have accidentally created a whole new life form from people's sleep dust, that weird little things, the corner of your eyes that you sometimes find that you have after you've woken up. Yeah, that's turned into a whole new life form, which are dubbed the Sandmen, and have eaten them. And we discover that the Morpheus pod's creator, Gagan Rasmussen, plans to spread the infection of the Sandmen across the galaxy, but in typical Doctor Who fashion, is stopped. The day is saved, or so we think, because we end the episode on the revelation that the entirety of this episode, the found footage format, was done on purpose by the Sandmen, in the form of Rasmussen, in order to propagate their infection. The footage itself now has the Morpheus signal embedded into it in order to infect people. And that's how we end the story. Now, the reception to this episode is not good. It's a very polarizing episode of Doctor Who. It's often put in the ranks of worst episodes of Doctor Who, alongside the likes of Love and Monsters, Fear Her, Orphan 55, all of that. It's just you mention Sleep No More, someone will probably tell you that is disgusting. Why does that episode exist? It personally hurt my feelings and stabbed my dog.
Worst episode ever. Acting atrocious. Camera work looked like a 5-year-old holding the family video cam. Plot? What plot? Supporting characters / actors probably would not even want to have this on their portfolios. Only decent thing was spotting Clara Oswald in the text at the start. Regarding the start, it's not Doctor Who without the theme tune at the start, as even as a child, hearing that tune meant it was hide behind the sofa time, and it still does that to me at 50 years of age. Think Gatiss and Moff should park the idea of doing a sequel to this episode, as people will not even tune in if they know that a second part is made. Regards, last comment, glad Gatiss decided not to make this a two-parter, as all stories this season have been, as having to stretch this dull amateur production over 2 weeks, I think I would have lost the will to live and just let the Sandman kill me. There is always an episode every year that we quickly gloss over and quietly forget it. I can be 99.999998% sure that anyone who did watch this dross, despite being told not to, will agree. Watching Sleep No More made the Dalek opener seem like Caves of Androzani Episode 4. I admire Gatiss as an actor and as a human being, but his efforts on Doctor Who are missing the mark wildly. Does he perhaps have something on the powers that be? A pathetic storyline, which they seemed to make up as they went along. Dreadful characters, how many cliches make 4? Terrible monsters, I'm assuming we'll never see the light of day ever again, all resulting in what was arguably the lowest point since Fear Her. Found footage was in 10 years ago, and was done to death. Who on earth thought it would be a good idea to use it here? Reece Shearsmith does black humor very well, but even he felt incredibly flat and lifeless. It felt like a case of jobs for your mates. His being there reminded me of Ken Dodd having a part in Delta and the Bannermen, a useless character with a name to try and add interest and attract viewers. Sorry team, this was a shambles. Utterly stupid found footage attempt. It ain't that though. The monsters are atrocious, characters forgettable, and plot ridiculous. Gatiss is always divisive, but this has to be his worst personally. Oh well.
But surprisingly, there's actually quite a few positive reviews of this episode. Most border on the it's not great, but it's not the worst thing in existence.
I really don't understand the hate with this episode. Is it the best Doctor Who episode? No. But is it the worst? Far from it. The themes of technology taking over our lives, sleep deprivation, all of it is so applicable to our society. Granted, I'd be surely tempted by the ability to condense a night of sleep into a few minutes. I'm sure I'm not alone. But it raises questions about what happens when you try to take shortcuts instead of taking care of yourself. I also oddly loved the found footage. I'm shocked that this ranks so low, especially when there are other episodes like Love and Monsters out there. Haha. This episode is unique in its execution, being a found footage sort of thing. It's exciting and spooky and has characters that develop and some that die and plays with breaking the fourth wall. The fourth wall being in your hand or on your television screen. I think it does a good job at making us, the viewers, feel like a part of the Whovian universe, and the beginning and ending does just that. I think most people are angry because the ending didn't resolve like other episodes. We didn't get to understand everything that was happening, as the Doctor was screaming as they escaped in the TARDIS at the end. This doesn't make any sense. Well, no, not entirely. But that was the point. Artistically, this episode was executed, I think, exactly how the artists who worked on it intended. Found footage, not knowing or understanding the big bad, and creepy as hell. It's basically Doctor Who's version of the video from The Ring. All in all, an enjoyable, senseless, in a good way, episode. Not everything has to make sense, and I believe that was this episode's message, and I think they executed. As Mark Gatiss has a very spotty record when it comes to writing Doctor Who, I give him an extra mark, no pun intended, for surprising me with a very, very good episode. It wasn't until the very end that I decided that I liked this episode, because it is at that point that the whole story is turned on its head. For the only single part of this series, this episode still managed to end on a cliffhanger, and a brilliant one at that. It won't go in too much depth on what happens, as I think it's an episode better left unspoiled. While the episode didn't do anything drastic in the character development, it reinforced the characters of both the Doctor and Clara. I think the found footage aspects of episode worked well, and once again, it didn't really feel necessary until the end. Good job, Mark. You surprised and continued Series 9's excellent run.
So what are my thoughts on Sleep No More? Now, when I first watched it, I thought, yeah, this isn't good. I don't know. I just didn't vibe with it. Like, I don't know. I come to appreciate a bit more when Doctor Who does something a bit different. But then again, that depends on whether they did it well. With this one, going back and watching it, I do have a kind of a greater appreciation for it. I could see where they were going, but I just don't think they hit the mark. I don't think they fully got there. Now, I do think the found footage for this story works well. It's done really good. I just think maybe, I don't know, but I don't even think I really have that much problem with the writing either. I know it's Mark Gatiss, and a lot of his episodes aren't particularly, like, the best, but I wouldn't say this is one of his worst. It's maybe somewhere in the middle, perhaps. And I don't know. I think the only thing that this story doesn't do well is that it's not scary. It does get creepy. Like, I remember when I first watched Sleep No More, like the end of the episode where it's revealed that the Rasmussen that's been showing us his footage is one of the Sandman, and like his whole he wants to spread the entire signal to everyone to create more Sandman, to propagate the galaxy with just the Sandman. Like that whole like scene is creepy, and I was creeped out by it. It's like, ooh, I don't know if I want to sleep tonight. Ooh, but like, I don't think the episode is scary. I think that's a problem I would have with it, because that's what they're going with the found footage, like horror style of this episode, is that it wants you to be scared. It has, you know, the jump scare moments, and that's, I would say, also a problem with a lot of found footage, is just like it does become reliant on like the jump scares, like the oh no, Foxy's there doing the Foxy lunge at the camera. But yeah, it's not a scary episode, but it's not a bad episode because of that. It's like an above average episode at best. And I do appreciate when Doctor Who does something different. And it just, like I said, it just depends on if they did it well. And with Sleep No More, they were close. They just weren't there. I really can't think of how I could close that gap to make it a good episode, like a good episode. But I don't know. It's just almost there. It's almost there. But it's not the worst episode ever. There is definitely worse episodes there. There are definitely worse episodes in the series that it was in. The two-parter with Maisie Williams, like introducing her character, the Shielder. I think those episodes are worse than Sleep No More. Yeah, but that's just my opinion on that. But so, here we are at the end. We have to answer the questions. Is this an underrated gem? Is this a masterpiece? Is this, as you know, as Martin Scorsese would say, peak cinema? And I would say it's not a masterpiece. It's definitely not peak cinema. Is it an underrated gem, though? I do agree that it is underrated. I think it gets more flack than it deserves. It's not the worst episode of Doctor Who ever. And it's just funny, like, seeing those reviews, and a lot of them saying, like, oh, I've been watching Doctor Who for, like, 50-something years, and this is when they decided to go too far. This is when they decided, no, let's just make garbage. And it's like, my brother in Sutek, the web planet exists. The android invasion exists. The Horns of Nymon exist. Speaking of Horns of Nymon, just pick at least one story in every Fourth Doctor season is bad, is not good. And you're telling me those are better than Sleep No More? I'm sorry, if I had a choice between the android invasion and Sleep No More, you bet your fucking ass I'm picking Sleep No More, brother. I would prefer not scary found footage episode over a boring episode. And that's the thing with this story. I don't think it's boring. It's interesting. It keeps me intrigued of like what is the mystery of this station, how they're going to get out. Especially when Rasmussen dies, like about halfway through the episode, and just like, hang on, how is he the one giving us the footage? Okay, I need to know how. And then you have the added bit of, like, we don't have cameras. It's like, okay, so they don't have cameras, like, how's this all being filmed? Like, this is found footage, it's recovered footage. How's this being filmed if none of them have cameras? So it's a very interesting episode, but it's not perfect. It's not enough there for it to be a good episode. It's above average at best. But that is it for this video. Thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you have thoughts on Sleep No More, leave them in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one. Ciao. Hey there, buddy. How's the video going? It's done. I'll edit it. I'll put it up into the channel. I'll be ready to release sometime soon. Could I at least get some sleep afterwards, please? Of course you can. You've earned it. I just know that this video is going to rake in the viewers just like the last one. Because I need it to. Because little do they know, I've embedded the Madman signal into this video. It will propagate the mad virus and turn you all into madmen. Isn't that gonna be lovely?